goals made per game. I think the other big number, they've cut down on their turnovers, and that's going to be key in this game tonight on the road. This is not going to be an easy task, though, for Pittsburgh at home.
Our officials tonight: Bert Smith, Clarence Armstrong, Ted Valentine, Pittsburgh in white, Louisville in red. We are underway from the Pete. Cardinals win the opening tip-off. You talk about the fight that Louisville fans want to see, Kenny Payne want to see. You see it on the opening tip-off right there.
Yeah, the energy. Again, credit Kenny Payne and staff. They've done a good job. They could have easily packed this thing in. We had a chance to speak with him yesterday, and I've been impressed, though, with how he's been able to keep these guys fighting in a season that has been a struggle, and as you said, as of late, been playing really well.
Take a look at the Cardinals starting five. They go right inside to Sidney Curry, who can't come up with the opening bucket. Pitt starting five. So much balance from these five transfers that have come in and given this proud Pitt program new life. Burton pull-up pop. Cash money.
I'm going to say it again, set it in the top. He's a guy underrated, I think, when you start talking about some of the best players, not just in the ACC, but in college. We said right now he is the only guy averaging 16, shooting over 50%, and close to 5 assists per game. That time showing off the mid-range game.
Ellis, contested deep three, goes begging. Burton tries his luck again, this time off the mark. See Louisville last in the ACC in points per game. Ellis has more than a quarter of their scoring. Jalen Withers has gotten in on the act as of late, but just lacking that consistency from any bench production and somebody really outside of Ellis and Withers. Jeff Capel in year number 5 as Pitt head coach. Joe Lunardi has the Panthers as a projected 8 seed. I wouldn't be surprised if that seeding is improved come Selection Sunday.
I'm not sure what the numbers and how they calculate all this BPI and net, all that, but they have some very good wins in ACC play. And again, Jeff Capel, another guy that should be at the top of discussion when you talk about Coach of the Year in the ACC, doing an outstanding job with this Pitt program this year.
And we showed you the standings. A half game back of Clemson. They are right in the thick of this tight ACC race. And looking broadly at the NCAA tournament as the Panthers desperate to get back into March Madness. Look at what they've done in Q1 in particular. 5-2 in quad 1. 8 wins across quad 1 and quad 2. I mean, that's what the committee's telling us that they're dialed in on. And Jeff Capel's team, an impressive resume on that front.
And I'm, again, not sure all the calculations. There are a lot more smart people doing that. But I'd be hard-pressed to find too many teams in college basketball with the resume that they have. Marius Burton took a shot to the face. Referee's still letting him play on, but that's something we're certainly going to watch as this play progresses.
Shot clock winding down into the lane. Scoop to the hoop, beats the buzzer. Mike James. They're going to take a look at this. I think he got it off in time, Malcolm.
And I think also, too, they're going to take a look at the hit. Yeah, now, again, that looked like, look, anytime you get hit, now, again, I think he's just trying to reverse direction, but I think the referees are going to take a look to see if there's anything flagrant. And then, obviously, I think they're going to take a look at to see if he got the shot off. I think those are the two things they're probably reviewing right now. Right now, it looks like they're looking to see if the shot was off in time. Don't see any light come on. Yeah, I think he got it off.
Clean.
Yeah, plenty of time. Yeah, definitely well before that clock hit 0. The ball was out of his hand.
Yeah, he got it off.
Both angles. Yeah, both, even with that angle there, looks like there's really no doubt whether or not the ball was out of his hands.
Don't know what's taking so long, because the angles we've gotten have been pretty conclusive. And that would mean back-to-back made baskets for Louisville after starting 0 for 3. Ted Valentine having a word with Kenny Payne.
Now, again,
and after all that, no flagrant foul, and they've counted the basket.
and I think that's the right call. Again, it did not look like he swung his elbow. He was just trying to reverse direction. Just one of those, he just happened to get caught. So, again, good job. They took a look at it, and I think it's the right call. Veteran officiating crew.
Greg Elliott drains the 3 to fire Pitt back in front.
Kenny Payne, when we talked to him, he said defending the three-point line was going to be key in this game versus Pitt. They have to do a good job being there on the catch and running guys off the three-point line.
That rolls out from Withers. He battles for the rebound and wins the ball back for Louisville underneath their own hoop.
Hey, on the other side, when we spoke with Jeff Capel, he said defensive rebounding is going to be key for us in this game. We must keep Louisville off of the offensive glass. Those are two concerns that both teams and coaching staffs came into this one thinking top of the list.
You know, you mentioned our conversation with Pitt head coach Jeff Capel. He told us, look, people are going to look at 3 and 20, our fans, our players, and not worry about it. He said, I'm worried. This Louisville team, the last 2 games, they've shown fight. And remember, this Pitt team, their last loss was against Florida State, who Louisville took down to the wire over the weekend. And the Cardinals have come out shooting well. Mike James hits that 3. And this is exactly why Jeff Capel said, you can't just look at the record and dismiss this team.
And the key thing we've said in this opening 4-minute stretch, no turnovers by Louisville. As we take a look, though, Pitt continues to execute well offensively. We're seeing some high-level offense early from both these teams. I think the key number for Louisville, though, no turnovers. They've getting some high percentage shots off of excellent ball movement early.
Right on cue, good ball movement, leads to a 3. Can't connect, though. J.J. Traynor got a good look. Elliott lobs it up. Federico throws it down.
Rebound and then run the floor and get paid with the alley-oop. Federico has been huge for this Pitt team.
Withers the immediate answer. They call it a deep 2 for Jalen Withers, who's been red hot from downtown, 12 of 21 from 3 in his last 4 games. Elliott hits it again. His second 3 of the night, and Pitt has made 4 in a row.
And again, poor closeouts that time by Louisville. Good ball movement and screen action by Pitt. You must be there on the catch with this Pitt team.
Really good look. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Mike James answers from 3.
You cannot ask for a better start on the road if you're Kenny Payne. His Louisville team executing really well offensively early.
Louisville's bench thought Hinson got away with a push, stole it away anyway. Cardinals have made 5 of their last 7. They've got a good flow offensively on the road here in Pitt. Curry tried to muscle it, left it way short. Nelly Cummings in transition. Might have rushed that shot, no good. Trailing 3, James, too much on it. Almost had his own rebound. Instead, it falls to Burton. Splits 2 defenders. And he'll be at the foul line when we come back. Tied at 12. A frenetic start. Hot pace. Both teams dialed in on the offensive end. When you win, the fans come back. A sellout in a great comeback win against top 20 Miami at the end of January. A big win that helped an NCAA tournament resume that right now is a projected 8 seed according to Joe Lunardi. And I'll tell you what, this Pitt team at 9-3 in the ACC could very well play their way in to an ACC regular season title. Malcolm, wins against Virginia and Miami could serve as tiebreakers. And who could have seen this coming preseason?
Well, I think Jeff Capel talked about it. He gives a lot of credit to his staff, his brother on staff, assistant coach Milan Brown, and Tim O'Toole. He says, look, I put a lot of faith in my staff when we were building this roster this year, and it certainly has paid off. I think the big thing, Jay, is the balance that they have offensively. They got 4 guys that average double digits, and then they make it difficult for you to guard them because they've been shooting the ball well, and they're all unselfish. Really, they have been playing and become a really difficult team to match up against.
These were the days that Pitt fans had not given up hope on. A proud program that was at the top of college basketball a little more than a decade ago. Went through some really hard times. Louisville fans right now watching. Pitt fans can relate to you. Not too long ago, that 0-18 season in ACC play, 2017-2018 team. And these are two both proud programs that expect a lot out of their team, and it doesn't always go to plan. Nobody thought this Louisville team would be 3-20, but as we told you at the top of the show, they've been showing a lot of fight as of late, and they've come out and shown that you would never know they were 3-20 looking at the way they've started this game now.
Yeah, and Kenny Payne and staff, again, I'll say it, look, they deserve a lot of credit for keeping these guys focused. Look, they have every reason to pack it in and really not play hard in these games. They've done a pretty good job. Take a look at assistant coach Danny Manning. They've done a really good job kind of holding the fort together. In these last 2 games, they've played really well, much improved. And right here on the road, if they want to pull off the road, they're going to have to defend the 3-point line and then limit the turnovers in this game.
Hard foul on the freshman Guillermo Diaz Graham, 7-footer from Spain.
And Jay, this is set up. Excellent screen, and then because Louisville's so focused on defending the 3-point line, the bigs of Pitt are going to have some opportunities to have some room to operate down low when they dive off of those screens. Excellent offense and spacing by Pitt.
With no John Hughley for the rest of the season, Guillermo Diaz Graham has come off the bench and played big minutes inside for Pitt.
I like his brother. He's got great size and really skilled. Both he and his brother really skilled bigs, and it's been a pleasant surprise for Jeff Capel and staff how well both these guys have progressed. As you said, with John Hughley out, and now for the rest of the season, it's thrust them into playing times, and they've been huge for them off the bench.
Louisville still no turnovers tonight, although inches away from having one there. 7 minutes into this game on the road. Great environment with the Oakland Zoo in full voice with Pittsburgh playing so well. You said that was the key to this game tonight, and so far they haven't turned it over, Malcolm.
No, and again, Kenny Payne said it. He did not mince any words. He's like, well, for us, in particular with L. Ellis and the guards, they have to turn the ball over. As you take a look at them crashing offensive glass, I think they're going to take a look.
I think it should be a shot clock violation. I don't think that hit rim. Yeah, that's a shot clock violation.
Definitely, I don't think that hit any rim. Hit the bottom of the backboard. our angle, it looked like it did not hit the rim.
So this should be Pitt basketball, leading by 2. Yeah, that does not hit rim. So wave off the bucket from J.J. Traynor. Pittsburgh's made 4 of their last 5. Shooting 71% from the floor to start this game. Elliott steps out from 3, knocks it down again. Elliott's 3rd of this first half.
Great footwork off the pin down, but you can't get open unless there's a good screen. Again, that time, another excellent screen by Pitt to free up.
High off the window and in. Nice answer from Louisville as Pittsburgh had their largest lead of the night at 5. All the way to the rim, and Pittsburgh has started this game shooting 7 of 9. Red hot. An air ball again. Hinson trailing 3 off the mark.
Good job on the defensive glass. Back to the previous possession, though, for Louisville. You can't ask for a more open look off a good ball movement, just unable to convert the 3.
Cardinals desperate for a stop. Pittsburgh getting everything they want offensively to start this game, shooting 70% from the floor. Hinson continues it with a deep 3.
Kenny Payne talked about this. He said, when we've gotten into trouble this year, we have not followed the script, the scouting report. Again, you must defend the 3-point line when you play Pitt. That's too much airspace. You have to communicate on those pin downs. Either switch or the bigs have to give help. You cannot let Pitt continue to come off these screens that wide open.
Shot clock under 5. Deep 3, Al Ellis. And Pittsburgh's grabbed control of this game. Hinson, offensive foul. Largest lead of the game for Blake Hinson and the Panthers, though, as the threes have started to fall. Greg Elliott, he's 3 for 3 from 3. And then Hinson.
Pittsburgh.
Panthers with another 3. It's good.
Notre Dame.
She has come to play and met the moment.
Women's college basketball on ACC Network Thursday.
Right now, Pitt up 8. Jay, key in this game, defending the 3-point line. You must communicate. Right here, Okorafor needs to be locked in with the guard. You cannot give this much airspace. Either you have to help as the big, but you have to be connected. Part of this is communication. The guard must lock and trail on that, and then the big, if he sees the guard late, must give some coverage. It is key that they communicate on these pin downs. Right now, you look at Greg Elliott, 5 points Wednesday versus North Carolina. He's already got 9 early in the first half in this game. A lot of those have come off some clean looks. Credit Pitt, they're running some really good sets for him.
Yeah, those defensive miscues from this Cardinals team have punished them all season. You see it there. Elliott has made them pay. 3 for 3, perfect from deep. And Pitt is a team 4 of 6 from 3.
Jeff Capel changed up defense, gave a little 3-quarter court pressure. Really what that is, just to slow Pitt down and do exactly what they're doing now. Get them deep in the shot clock.
Cardinals have now missed 7 of their last 8. They were in a good rhythm to start this game, Malcolm. What's changed?
I think the ball movement, and credit Pitt's defense. They forced them deep into the shot clock, and then now instead of getting high percentage looks, they're taking some contested looks deep in the shot clock, I think a couple of things. Number one, Pitt has been really good offensively, so it's limited their opportunities to get out in transition. And then defensively, they forced them to get deep into the shot clock.
Here's Burton. Double team comes in, passes out of it. Nate Santos counted, plus the foul. A chance for a 4-point play.
The hockey assist by Jamarius Burton. Double team, he gives it up, extra pass. You can't ask for a better offensive start if you're Jeff Capel. Right here, Jamarius Burton giving it up, extra pass in the corner, and that is a really unselfish basketball by Pitt.
Four-point play completed. Pittsburgh on a 14-2 run. Louisville in a scoring drought of nearly 3 minutes, and it's allowed Pittsburgh to really grab control of this game.
Louisville's got to get into their offense a little bit quicker. Last really 4 or 5 possessions, they've been deep under really 10 seconds and end the shot clock before they're really having anything going towards the basket.
A forced three from Al Ellis. Rims out. Not too long ago, these two teams were tied at 14. Since then, Pitt on a 14-2 run, looking for more. Sibande hits it, and Pitt's blown this one wide open.
Louisville in desperate need of a bucket. And they need to get back to early on in this game. They were getting some dribble drives and then making some extra passes and getting some higher percentage shots. And that has not happened in this last 4 or 5 minute stretch.
Withers drawing contact, just trying to get something going for Louisville as Pittsburgh has extended this lead to 14 on a 16-2 scoring run over the last 5 minutes.
Jeff Capel pleading his case. Yeah, he was moving forward. Now, I know what Jeff Capel's saying. Now, if he was standing straight up, that'd be one thing. It's because he was coming forward. I think that's a pretty good call by the ref. If he was just going straight up and he moved into him, Withers, then I think he has a more valid argument.
Everybody knows the ACC, tremendous fans, and the ACC network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. So take a picture or video, tag it with all the devotion on social media, and you might just see it right here on ACC Network. Jalen Withers ends the scoring drought of nearly 4 minutes with that free throw, but Louisville has dug themselves quite a hole, and deja vu for Cardinals fans. Just a 5-minute lapse. They'd played so well. This game was tied at 14, and then 5 minutes of play that just gets away from you, and you're down by double digits. Sibande hits a deep three. Pittsburgh red hot from 3. They have made 6 of 8.
Louisville changed up their defense that last possession, gave some three-quarter court pressure. Looks like they dropped back into some type of matchup zone, and none did not work. Pitt still able to get a 3.
Pittsburgh has made another 4 in a row. They're getting everything they want from deep. 6 of 8 from 3, up big. This game wide open.
And they've done it a little bit different. Inside, outside, right here. Excellent ball movement. The bigs of Pitt, I've been impressed. They've sent some excellent screens, and the ball movement continues to be positive for Jeff Capel. He said they're at their best when the ball is not sticking to one side. They have come out early in the first half and put on a ball movement clinic.
Coming off that crucial win on the road in Chapel Hill to complete the season sweep of North Carolina, but they didn't do it with three-point shooting on Wednesday. Just 7 of 19 tonight. Look at that, 75%, 6 of 8 from 3.
And it's been all high percentage looks. I think on the other side, Louisville, look, they started this game off moving the ball well. They were getting high percentage shots, and that just really disappeared, really, in the last 5-minute stretch, 6-minute stretch. It's been a struggle for them offensively, and a big reason why. I think, look, they just got away from what was working for them early. They got to get back to that, move the ball, too much one-on-one, and then they get deep into the shot clock.
Burton leaves it short. That's Pittsburgh's only 4th missed shot. We've played for nearly 13 minutes, and Pitt has only missed 4 times. Step back 3. Rattles in and out, no good from Withers. Louisville just desperate for a basket. 5 minutes and 22 seconds without a made field goal. Here's Burton. He's usually the initiator late in the shot clock. Great passing. Sibande can't connect on the 3. Foul down low. Roosevelt Wheeler was in good positioning to end this scoring drought, but was fouled before he could hang on to the ball.
And Jay, Louisville needs more of that right there. Don't settle for jumpers. Try to get some dribble drives. If it comes off of a kick after drawing a couple of defenders, that's fine. But don't try to shoot a contested jumper without any ball movement or dribble penetration.
This game was tied at 14. Since then, Pittsburgh on a 19-3 run. Louisville has not made a field goal in 6 minutes. Stole it away. Good transition defense from Louisville.
Communication on these ball screens key for Louisville as they come up with a turnover.
Mike James has been the lone bright spot offensively. 8 points out of the Cardinals' 17. Cross-court pass finds Traynor. Louisville desperate to make a shot. They're getting good looks, Malcolm. They just can't knock them down.
Yeah, that right there, probably their best offensive possession really in the last 4 minutes. Cross-court pass. They get a pretty clean look from 3. As you said, just unable to convert. And now for the game, they are 18% from the three-point line. Louisville 2 of 11.
Nelly Cummings drains it from the corner. Largest lead of the night for Pittsburgh. 7 made threes for this Panthers team. And rejected. Federico says no. James stays with it. Burton rips it away. Pitt has numbers, and they cash in. Timeout, Louisville. It's a 19-1 Pitt run. Well, a big storyline this season has been Pittsburgh's offensive prowess, but how about the defense, Malcolm?
Federico, I think kind of the unsung hero. We talked about it without John Hughley, a guy they thought they would be counting on a lot, and you look at what he's done. He is third in the ACC, close to 2 blocks per game. Now you look at Derek Lively, that number probably jumped a bunch from his performance the other night, but Federico has provided them really an excellent post presence on the defensive side, and then his rim running has been really excellent. After his blocks, he's a big that's mobile. Really, it's been phenomenal what he's been able to provide for this Pitt team.
And look what he's done against Armando Bacot, who many believe could be ACC Player of the Year. He has held him in check, not just last Wednesday, but in both meetings as Pitt swept Carolina in the season series. I think Federico, a sleeper for ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely. I mean, hard to argue when you're guarding arguably one of the best players, not just in the ACC, but in college basketball, in Armando Bacot. And you hold him to those type of numbers. You have to be in the discussion for one of the better players, defensive players in the conference.
Huck, I don't know if he'll make the all-defensive team, but he's made the all-name team with Federico as he comes up with another defensive stop. Big smile, too, for the sophomore from Finland.
Well, right now, if you're Kenny Payne, he talked about it. Just following the script, the scouting report, he said it. Look, we must defend the three-point line in this game. Right now, Pittsburgh 70%, and they're going to get another clean look from 3. That's a break that time, but they're well over 65% in this game from 3, and a lot of them have been some clean looks. They have to tighten that up if they want to try to go on any type of run to shrink this gap of 18.
They've dug themselves a hole on the road, down 18.
Yeah, and a lot of these different numbers, but anytime you can win on the road, I don't care what conference you're in, but in particular in the Power 5, in the ACC, it's pretty impressive, and they're in pretty rare company right there, as you showed. 2 of the top teams in the country, one of the only few to have more than 5 road wins in conference. Really impressive what Jeff Capel has done with this Pitt program.
Right now trying to take care of business at home, improve to 10-3 in the ACC. As they chase the Clemson Tigers just a half game back. It's going to be a fun finish in the ACC. About 6 teams battling for the ACC regular season title. Stole it away. Al Ellis all the way to the rim, and he misses the layup. That's the type of season it's been for the Cardinals. They called for a foul on the other end. I mean, talk about not getting a roll.
Yeah, and that's a tough break right there. With the chance to cut this thing, and that's just a miss. Again, great job of getting the steal, just unable to convert. That's one he would like to have back. And take a look at his numbers. Certainly know he can score. I think the thing when we spoke with Kenny Payne, his turnover numbers have been down over the last 4 games, and that's been key for them.
Federico continues to feast inside on both ends. Louisville has just made 1 of their last 11. Stolen away. Sibande. Oh, he tried the windmill and he missed the dunk. And then he hits the 3. He ends up gaining a point with the missed dunk because he atones for it with the made 3. Wow.
And I can tell you, Jeff Capel, though, probably not happy with the missed dunk. He's going to talk to him about that again. This game, he understands, but right now, Pitt is rolling. Nike Sibande with the windmill, misses it, but then he atones for it with the made three. It has been all Pitt in the first half.
Seen that, but then seconds later, he makes the three. Jeff Capel takes a timeout. A unique sequence for sure as Pitt finds themselves up by 21. Curry draws the foul inside.
And if you're trying to find anything positive for Louisville, and again, it's been tough in this last stretch for them, in particular on the road in this game. I think, look, that's a matchup where right now the three ball is not working for him. And Curry certainly has a clear strength advantage over Federico. Give him some touches in the paint. See if you can get Federico in foul trouble. Certainly it's a higher percentage shot if you're in the paint because the three ball has not been working for you. You're 3 of 12 from the three-point line. Try to make it easy for yourself. And then defensively, look, sound like a broken record. It's simple as this. They're going to have to do a better job defending the three-point line.
Pitt has made 8 threes in this first half. Shooting overall 65%. And another made three. This one belongs to Nelly Cummings.
Gamble, and then it leads to another wide open three. That right there, Kenny Payne is not happy with that defense. Again, they go to zone. You gamble, you don't get the steal. Extra pass by Pitt, and they get another wide open look.
Contested three. Louisville's been looking for that this entire half. Mike James has been the bright spot with 11.
Louisville back into this matchup zone. Key thing, communication, any screens, and then you cannot gamble out of this.
Deep three, James left it short. And it'll be Pitt basketball shot clock off. As it stands, 46 points, the second most the Panthers have scored in a half this season. An offensive explosion capped off by 9 made threes. Jeff Capel uses a timeout. What's impressed you most about the Panthers in this first half, Malcolm, as we take a look at Jeff Capel's huddle?
A couple of things jump out. The ball movement and the balance. We talked about it at the tip. They have 4 guys that average double figures for this team. And then Federico, again, he's not a guy that's going to score a bunch of points, but I think he does all the little things for this team. He'll rebound, he'll block shots, he'll rim run, either get it on lobs or just draw the defense in. I've been impressed with his all-around defensive play and presence for Pitt.
That's what makes it so difficult for opposing coaches when you try and put together a scouting report. What name do you put at the top for Pitt? Sure, I think many would say Burton, but you look at that balance, so many different guys can beat you.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cummings, Elliott, Burton, Henson, those guys, all of them, Sibande, they bring in Nike Sibande off the bench. He's another guy that can fill it up for them. So you're right, very difficult to scout because on any given night, any one of those guys can go off from beyond the arc and also beat you off the bounce.
Ten seconds left to this first half. Santos a three. A foul on the follow. Sibande skying high. Draws the whistle with under 3 seconds left before halftime.
And Nike Sibande almost with the highlight putback dunk. My goodness. And that's the problem when you go to a zone.
Pittsburgh, an offensive explosion in this first half. 47 points, shooting better than 60% from the field. 9 made threes at a really complete first half. Out of their 16 made field goals, 14 of those assisted.
Impressive first half all around for Jeff Capel. Balanced offensively, defensively. They took Louisville right out of the rhythm they had early in the game. Impressive all around. Jeff Capel must be pleased with how with running the floor. He really, I think, has been really an X-factor guy for Jeff Capel and Pitt.
And a fan base that has gotten a new lease on life this season. Now well on their way to 10-3 in league play. Greg Elliott dials it in from deep, his 4th three of the night, and Pittsburgh picks up right where they left off.
Well, I was going to talk about second half adjustments for Louisville. Again, one of the things Kenny Payne talked about, his team continuing to fight. Again, I know this program, they're not going to accept the losing. I think the biggest thing Kenny Payne and staff are looking at is if guys are going to continue to compete, but then I think they got to lock in on the scouting report. Again, you come out in the second half, you know Pitt's hot from the three-point line. They give up a three early in the early minutes, first minute of the second half. They have to lock in and communicate better defensively.
And again, it wasn't too long ago that Pitt fans would tune into games like this and we're on the Louisville side of things, thinking how could a program with so much tradition and pride find themselves in these situations? And Jeff Capel has come in, trusted the process. It didn't happen overnight. This is year number 5 that the Panthers are finally tasting that success, well on their way to getting back to where they belong in the NCAA tournament. And it continues from 3. Pitt red hot right now. Offensive rebound rejected at the rim. Federico to the rescue again. Transition 3. It's good. Nelly Cummings.
They should give Federico the assist because he started off that play with the block and the rim run brought into D. And that, I'll tell you right now, has been the story with Pittsburgh. Federico, one of the better rim protectors. And then right here, Cummings in the break. Unselfish play again by Pitt. And it's been that type of night for them. They cannot miss from beyond the arc.
12 made threes, shooting 67% from 3. This is a Pitt team that set a program record with 18 made threes against Wake Forest. They only averaged 9 per game. That record could be in jeopardy tonight, Hawk. They've already made 12.
I'll tell you what, if Louisville does not either switch or have better communication, as you take a look at another breakdown, that time out of bounds underneath, they could break that record.
And it feels like a different game that these two were tied at 14. Since then, Pittsburgh continuing to pour it on. An 8-0 run over the last minute. Just the latest run of this game. Still playing with a lot of pace. Transition buckets way too easy for Greg Elliott. Timeout, Kenny Payne. Pittsburgh, a perfect 5 for 5 to start the second half. It is all Pitt. Win would bring the Panthers tied with Clemson atop the ACC for a team that was picked second to last in the preseason polling conference. We asked Jeff Capel, what's his message to the team as they battle for an ACC regular season title? And he said, we're not worried about the ACC title. His message to the team comes from a book he read this offseason, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. I can't see a way through. Can you see your next step? Yes. So the horse says, just take that. And he said this whole season is about just taking the next step, not thinking of the big picture, just going 1-0. They say 1-0 at the end of every pregame shoot-around. And in a world where it's so hard to focus on the present, this Pitt team has been so dialed in to just taking that next step, what's right in front of them.
And he's been very consistent, Jay. All the games we've had with Pitt, that's been his message. He has not moved from that, and it's really a great one as things start to get a little heated. And I think that frustration, there's been some chirping going on, but certainly that is a frustration. And, look, Kenny Payne's talked about this. Now, again, obviously, you don't want this to get into any extracurriculars, but I think it goes back to guys taking pride. That time, I think they were a little exception with the throw, Federico going after the ball. But, Kenny Payne talked about this. Look, he wants our guys, no matter what the score is, show some pride, show some fight. I think the bigger issue right now as the referees look to review this, the breakdowns. Again, they've had spurts where they've played a good ball, and this game I think is a little different, but they've had other games where they've put together 35 minutes of good basketball, 36 minutes, but not able. They go through these spurts where they can't score the ball or they have breakdowns defensively. I think tonight, obviously, the numbers will tell you right now, Pitt 67% from the three-point line. That has been the biggest issue for them, defending the three-point line and coming into this game. That was right at the top of the list of keys for the game.
Now hold on a second. They just announced that it's a technical foul against Federico, as well as Mike James, so a technical foul to each team.
Jay, I think that is more to do with the referees basically saying, all right, we're going to ding both of you, and we don't want anything else to go from here. We're just going to knock it off. We're going to give both guys a tech, and then if there's anything else going on in games, we're going to start tossing people. And again, veteran crew, they just want to get this thing under control. Again, two guys going after the ball.
And that's 4 fouls now on Federico. So he has to take a seat, and you'd expect it to be a long one.
actually going to toss somebody from the bench.
They said they took an extra long look at the replay to make sure that there were no infractions against the bench. Just the 2 technicals against James and Federico, so nothing against that Louisville bench. That ends a 2.5-minute scoring drought for Louisville.
Mark this right here, down 30, Louisville. You have the technical. Again, obviously this game down 30, but let's see again if they try to go on any type of run, they're going to have to defend this right here.
They just can't stop the threes. Guillermo Diaz Graham getting in on the act, his first made bucket of the night. And with Federico off the floor with 4 fouls, you got 5 shooters for Pitt. Much needed 3 for Louisville. Kamari lands nothing but the bottom of the net. Inside to Hinson, who's fouled. Tonight's all been about the 3-point shooting, though. Pittsburgh, 13 made threes.
By Louisville, they have 5 3-point shooters out on the floor. Again, right here, Louisville, they must communicate. You almost have to switch this or have coverage. The big does not step up, doesn't help, and another clean look for Pitt from beyond the arc. That has been the type of night. A lot of these open looks have been off of breakdowns by Louisville. I'm almost at the point right now, if I'm Kenny Payne, you have to switch any pin down, any ball screen, because right now, Pitt is dominating them from the 3-point line.
6 different Panthers have made a 3. And 18 of Pittsburgh's 22 made shots have been assisted. So, you know, Pittsburgh is getting everything they want offensively. That balance that Malcolm talked about at the beginning of the show, you're seeing that with the threes, with 6 different players making one from deep. 3-point shooting success only working one way. Louisville's attempted 17 threes, only made 5. Here's Hinson. Kick out Elliott, a 3. His first miss from 3 tonight. He was 4 for 4 before that one. Great defense from Nike Sibande.
Jay, you talked about it, the 18 assists. I think that is the number. Jeff Capel, he said, look, we're a team. The thing he likes about this team is how connected they are. Any given night, somebody can go off, and all of these guys, no matter what, whether they're scoring or not, they're willing passers and guys that are able to space the floor and then make the right read.
Sibande pull up 3. Rims out. How difficult is it, Malcolm, to guard a team that has 5 3-point shooters on the floor at the same time?
Absolutely. It's very difficult, in particular the way the bigs are screening for Pitt. But I think really for Louisville right now, the biggest issue they're having is communicating and then being locked in. Guys are getting too much space off of these pin downs. The bigs have to either step out, hedge and show, or switch on those screens. The communication really has been an issue for Louisville tonight.
Jalen Withers was the hot hand coming into the night. He's been quiet, but made a much needed 3 there. Hinson contested three, nothing but the bottom of the net. Blake Hinson knocks down his third three of the night.
They are putting on a clinic right now with their spacing and then dribble drive, and they continue to make the extra pass.
Okorafor showing his range in just his fourth game as a Cardinal since coming over from Nigeria. Emmanuel Okorafor. He's been a spark in practice, and Kenny Payne was singing his praises to us during our coaches call, and you're seeing it in game action now.
Yeah, they're really high on this young man. Ask Kenny Payne, you know, what he brings. He said the biggest thing we've seen a difference in the practice. He is just a competitive young man, and they are really high on what he can bring on both ends of the court for this Louisville team.
That was his first made three in a Louisville uniform. Diaz Graham way too easy inside, and it's Mike James who stays down for Louisville after the make. Now gets up to his feet.
That angle looked like he just jammed his ankle or toe. Certainly better to see him walking off on his own will. Looked really bad at the beginning.
Santos off to Sibande, rejected by Okorafor. That's probably the best sequence of the night for Louisville. Percy Miller cashes in on a three after a good defensive stop.
Yeah, and again, excellent ball movement. Something really the first 5 minutes of this game. Louisville had it going. As you said, this game was tied at 14.
And Pitt continues to feel it. So does Louisville, just the opposite emotion. Up aboard the Pitt bandwagon, and for good reason. Tuesday night, the Oakland Zoo's been rocking. Pittsburgh up big, 70-42. Love seeing Ryan Shazier out at the Pete, Huck.
Yeah, it's so great to see him. Looks happy, looks really good, and certainly a great atmosphere for him. And you said it right, just a remarkable story. And seeing him be able to come to this game on his own will. A lot of folks smiling, not just in Pittsburgh, but all around the world, seeing his recovery continue.
I mean, to have that spinal stabilization surgery and learn to walk again, it's such an unbelievable story about applicable to life, right? Down but not out. Everyone can take something from Ryan Shazier's story.
Well, I think the biggest thing, appreciate it. You know, the little things, being able to get up and walk on your own will, get out of bed each morning, and certainly, well, that was in doubt for quite some time with him, but again, really just so happy to see him able to get out and about on his own will. Really just a remarkable recovery in what he's been able to do.
100%. I wonder who Ryan likes in the Super Bowl this coming week. Chiefs or Eagles? Who do you like, Malcolm?
Woo, man, that's a tough one. You can't go wrong. I'm going to say, listen, I'm not a fan of either, but I like both quarterbacks. But for me, Jalen Hurts, what he's been able to overcome, you think about him losing his starting job, moving on from schools, and just stayed humble the whole time. Really hard to root against him, man. So if I had to pick one, I would say I'm going Philly, man. I really just love his story and what he represents in terms of just fighting through adversity and staying positive the whole time.
And you talk about believing in yourself. I read an article today that a scout asked Jalen Hurts during the draft process, are you cool moving to running back? And he said, I'm a team player. I'll do whatever the team wants, but I'm a quarterback. He believed in himself when so many doubted, and now playing in his first Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes. That'll be an incredible game come Sunday.
Sum that up and get back the ball. I want to know who that scout was. They need to get their head checked to see if that guy is not a quarterback, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a football guy, but I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that that guy is a leader and he is a quarterback and one of the best, if not the best in the NFL right now.
Did you ever get some weird feedback from a scout as you were trying to make transition from college to pros?
No, I mean, look, I was drafted by the Houston Astros for baseball. I thought I was a shortstop, and they said, no, son, we're going to draft you as a third baseman and maybe stick you out in right field. I was a little salty about that, but on the basketball front, no, I came in, look, I was a three-point shooter. So you are who you are. No weird feedback on that. I knew who I was.
You told me when you were trying out with the Heat that they made you shoot 100 threes and you had to make 80. If you didn't make 80 of 100, they said, there's the door.
Well, it wasn't so much the door, but you can't call yourself a three-point shooter and not make open threes with no defense on you. So certainly that was a definitely nerve-wracking task as we take a look at more offensive rebounding for Pitt. And, you know, look, Jeff Capel, Jay, when we spoke to him about this team, he said, look, we don't have a team that is just one guy that's going to go off for 40, or a team that has guys that really are superstars. He said, look, we have to play as a collective unit, and that's what they have done. We talked about it throughout this game, the balance that they've shown. You look at their scoring, and then just how they've spread the ball around. They're going to be up over 20 assists when this game is over. And that's what Jeff Capel talked about. They're at their best when they're sharing the ball. But I think the other thing, defensively, Jay, they really, really good. You look at their win versus North Carolina. They held North Carolina to 18% from the three-point line and 34% from the floor. I don't think they get enough credit for how well they play defense. They make it really difficult for teams. I think a big reason why their bigs, in particular Federico, and the Twins on the back end, they give them some really nice rim protection.
It's getting to the point, Malcolm, where you have to ask yourself, could this Pitt team win the ACC? And you look at the upcoming schedule, and I think it's favorable. I think they could play their way into winning the ACC regular season title.
Well, they're going to have a tough one. Look, they got to take care of business the last 9-20. They have a sizable league, but at Florida State, that's going to be an interesting game. Jeff Capel talked to us about this Louisville team that really gave Florida State all they can handle. We called the Florida State game when Florida State came into Pitt and handled them. They gave Pitt really all they can handle. So that one at Florida State, that one's going to be a very interesting game. See if they can get some revenge.
Battle underneath. Diaz Graham fighting. Both twins are in on the seed. Talk about great fight from both teams. And you would never know this was a lopsided game. Both teams still going hard underneath the hoop.
This just of the rim protection. This time the Twins getting in on the block action, physical game. And the Oakland Zoo is loving this effort. Interesting free throw routine. You don't rarely see a guy take a step back and then go right into his free throw shot. Take a look at this right here, but it works. He's got great mechanics. Takes a step back with that right foot and then steps right into it.
Perfect 4 for 4 for Jorge Diaz Graham from the line, so it's working. Shot clock violation again. I think credit the Oakland Zoo for causing the shot clock violation there.
This has been the type of night has been for Louisville. Nothing coming easy. Good closeout by Nike Sibande. I think the key thing in that, the closeout without fouling. Trying to change it up, going to a little three-quarter court pressure.
Offensive rebound. Mismatch for Nelly Cummings. Working on the freshman. That's a turnover. But a turnover Pitt can afford. Panthers up by 30 with under 8 to play. 15 minutes. Right here on ACC Network, a top 25 matchup. NC State, Terquavion Smith, red hot in Charlottesville to take on Kihei Clark at number 8 Virginia. Malcolm Huckabee, that is a game that could very well decide who ends up winning the ACC. Two of the hottest teams in the conference right now.
And it's going to be a fun game. Really tough to call that one right there. Two really good teams, well coached, two really good backcourts. As you said it, Terquavion Smith really playing at a high level, but Kihei Clark, man, that one's going to be a fun one. Cannot wait to see that one.
And two of the teams, including Pittsburgh, log jammed at the top of the ACC. You will very rarely see a league as wide open as this one is in February down the stretch of the season. So a critical matchup. You know, Miami got the big win against Duke last night. The Hurricanes are definitely in the mix. Wake Forest, they're up really big on North Carolina. That lead down to 10 over on ESPN. And then after us on ACC Network, it's NC State and Virginia. There's really just not much to separate those teams at the top of the ACC. It was Clemson and Virginia that had kind of separated themselves for a while, but Clemson, Pitt, Virginia, Miami, NC State, those five, what's going to separate these five teams down the stretch, Hawk?
Well, I think you throw schedule out of it. I think it's really going to come down to matchups. You know, teams that, you know, again, certain teams just are better matchups for whatever reason it is. And I think that's going to really play a huge key and factor into these closing games as we get closer to March. Certainly, though, being at home always helps. So the team probably with more home games in that bunch give them a little advantage.
Pitt stays dialed in on the defensive end. Yeah, buoyed by this home crowd, like you said, Malcolm.
And Jay, this has been, I think, the biggest difference for this Pitt team. Again, when they lost John Hughley, you insert the twins to go along with Federico, and although they don't score like John Hughley did, they provide that right there. Great rim protection.
Santos fouled for the second time tonight, shooting a 3. He missed this one, but will get 3 shots at the line.
Federico on the bench. Santos has given Jeff Capel some nice minutes in this game, allowing him to rest some of his starters with this sizable lead. They've been able to keep it.
Jeff Capel, as we talk big picture in the ACC, is going to receive a lot of ACC Coach of the Year votes come the end of the season.
Always enjoy speaking with him, and he said, look, he's become very close with Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they share a lot of stuff, a lot of similarities, things talking about managing a team and leadership, and certainly a lot of those conversations coming into this season have paid off. His team really has bought into that one game at a time, going 1-0. Every time they come out, focus on what's in front of you, and take a look at the last 4 seasons, the date of their 6th win. And it is night and day difference of this season right here. And I think a big reason why the balance they've had, and then defensively, again, can't say it enough. Yes, they're very good offensively. We talked about the balance they had. Jamarius Burton, a guy that should be at the top of the list for ACC Player of the Year, but defensively, again, coming up with the steal, they do a really good job defending the 3-point line and enforcing teams into turnovers. Big reason why they're mobile bigs. They do a good job rim protecting and then also running the floor.
"15 made threes, 18 of 20 from the foul line." This has been a clinic offensively.
Now on the other side, look, Kenny Payne did not hide from the season that they're having right now. He said, look, our fans, look, they're very they're used to winning ways. He's been part of that, winning a national championship. And he said, look, the expectation is not going to change for them. And he said, look, I welcome them booing. I welcome them getting on us and me because they deserve better. And he knows, look, they must be better in all phases of the game.
Capel takes a timeout after the Nike Sibande 3. 16 threes on the night for Pittsburgh as a team. Just 2 shy of a program record 18. 5 points shy of a season high 91 points. Now, Malcolm, sometimes you're just feeling it, and this Pitt team has been feeling it not just tonight, but the last month or two.
Yeah, they really have excellent ball movement right here, though. Of the communication and breakdowns by Louisville really has been problematic. Federico with the block, and then right here in transition, another wide open look, unselfish. Look at their spacing. I think this is the thing that makes them difficult. They have 4 or 5 guys out on the court at times that can shoot the 3 ball, and all of them can put it down on the floor. And then they have excellent spacing. As you take a look at their 3-point shooting, 18 made on January 25th against Wake. Right now they're at 16, but I think Jeff Capel is going to empty his bench, get his starters out of the game, get some of the reserve men that don't play that much. Jay, as look, big picture, how does Louisville close out this season? How can they try to get some positive news going into their last games of this ACC season? I think, look, there were a couple of things today that really weren't happening in their last 2 games. We talked about it in the tip. Their last 2 games, they have been much better with their turnovers and their effort defensively. First 5 minutes, it looked pretty good for this Louisville team. And then from there, basically, it went south, and it went south quick. I think the biggest problem for them tonight wasn't the turnovers. It was just the lack of ball movement. And then defensively, really did a poor job of defending the 3-point line. Look, there's no other way to put it. Pitt just had way too many open looks from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I think what's so difficult for Louisville is this is uncharted territory, and the program's 109-year history, they've never lost more than 20 games. They've lost 20 one other time, but they're 3 minutes and 53 seconds away from losing a 21st game. As you see, Aiden Fish head to the scorer's table. He's a fan favorite. We'll get to see him come onto the court when we come back. Well, with less than 4 minutes to go and Pitt up comfortably, here comes Aiden Fish, and what a great story Fish has. Grew up in Murraysville, Pennsylvania, just 20 minutes away from Pitt's campus. Started as a student manager in the 2018-2019 season. Then became a walk-on in the 2021 season, and in his final season with the Panthers, he is now a scholarship player. Malcolm and I, we've been at a lot of Pitt practices, shoot-arounds. He is so active, such a vocal leader, energetic piece of this Pitt team. And now in an ACC game, he gets extended minutes, and you know that Oakland Zoo is going to go crazy every time 13 touches the ball.
Yeah, it's a great story. It really is. Again, a guy that came in, and Jeff Capel talked about it. Look, he's just done nothing but work. Been a great teammate. Certainly nice to see him get rewarded his final year. And anytime they get a chance to get these guys in the game, they do all the work and practice, go over the scout team, do all the training and so forth, and rarely get a chance to play. So certainly anytime any coaches can get their walk-ons on, or guys that don't get a lot of minutes, certainly a good thing to reward them.
And the other thing that Fish has gone through that a lot of these transfers have not is the pain and suffering of these last 4 seasons. It has not been easy for Pitt, as Jeff Capel has rebuilt a program that went winless in the ACC before he took over. Fish has been a part of that rebuild.
Not sure what the referees are looking at right here.
Yeah, we've got to get to Virginia, NC State. We got a top 25 matchup coming up next on in a 33-point game with 3 minutes left. I don't know what you could possibly be reviewing.
Looked like it nicked the rim right there. So I think it's a shot clock. Let's see if it should have reset. I'm not sure, though. It should take this much time. You're absolutely right. Teddy Valentine giving a little laugh right there. Glad they did not take too much more time on that one.
Coming up next, NC State and Virginia will likely start on the ESPN app, and then we'll get you to Charlottesville as soon as we can. Terquavion Smith, Kihei Clark, excellent guard matchup. That game is going to be a lot of fun as our doubleheader continues here on ACC Network. 3 minutes to go. Pittsburgh up by 35.
And, you know, we talk about a lot of guys, Jay, for Coach of the Year. Certainly Jeff Capel. You think about Kevin Keats, Brad Brownell. But, you know, I almost think we penalized Tony Bennett for being in the top 10. Again, the job that he's done with Virginia. Again, I know everybody else is talking about the progression that Clemson has made, and certainly the game we have right here, Jeff Capel. But Tony Bennett, the job that he's done with this Virginia team as well, certainly he's a guy, again, I know he probably won't, but it's certainly a name that should be in the discussion as well, too, what he's done with this Virginia team. The consistency that they have had.
Well, we both vote, Malcolm, and I am dreading filling out Coach of the Year and Players of the Year because it's so balanced at the top of the ACC. It's really hard to separate. And it's really going to come down to those final standings, I think, as the tiebreaker.
I almost think that's really what it's going to come down to. The team that finishes at the top of the standings, I think you can almost pick the player and also Coach of the Year from that team. I think it's just that tight of a race when you start talking about Player of the Year and also Coach of the Year.
Pittsburgh, by the way, has tied a season high with 91 points in this game. A statement win for a program that'll improve to 10-3 in ACC play and will now move tied with Clemson into first place in the ACC.
Take a look at the three-point shooting numbers tonight. 17 of 29 right now. Pitt 59%. One shy of their program record. 18 made threes, and really, you know, Jay, you've talked about it. We've talked about it. It's how they got those made buckets, the assists. They're at 23 assists for the game right now. And again, they put on a clinic with their ball movement, screening, and spacing.
And that's a season high 23 assists for this Pitt team. And I think at this point the rest of the ACC has no choice but to take note as a team that came in preseason second to last in the conference is 100% in the race to win the league. This Pitt team, this program that has been dormant for the last decade, is back in a big way.
It really is. Again, you look at how they've won. We've talked about their road wins, beating teams like Miami, going on the road, winning at North Carolina. Nobody. You look at where they're at right now and where their preseason projections were, including me and you. Nobody thought they would be sitting in second place right now at the top of the ACC standings. And pretty much and all the projections a lock for the NCAA tournament.
Joe Lunardi has Jeff Capel's team as an 8 seed right now. Wouldn't surprise me if they continue to build that resume and are closer to a 4 or a 5 seed come Selection Sunday.
Well, I think the big test for them is going to be their road game at Florida State. Remember, Florida State came in on the road, probably played their best game that I've seen them play this year, and beat them. So they're looking for some revenge at Florida State. But as you take a look at Joey brackets and the projections, be very interesting. That Wake Forest at the bottom half, 2 teams looking to try to get in. But it was a dominant performance tonight, Jay. Really impressive all around, offensively and defensively, for Jeff Capel and Pitt.
Pitt left no doubt, and with that win, it improves to 10-3, now sitting tied with Clemson atop the ACC. 2 teams that are